is their niche, and they stick with it, and they never change, and they're almost out of fear.
Well, it's hard because there's the analogy around mountain climbing. Like if you find a mountain and you start climbing, and you spend your whole life climbing it, and you get, say, 2/3 of the way, and then you see the peak is like way up there, but you're 2/3 of the way up. You're still really high up. But now to go the rest of the way, you're going to have to go back down to the bottom and look for another path. Nobody wants to do that. People don't want to start over.
Yeah.
And it's the nature of later in life that you just don't have the time. So it's very painful to go back down and look for a new path, but that may be the best thing to do. And that's why when you look at the greatest artists and creators, they have this ability to start over that nobody else does. Like Elon will, be called an idiot and start over, doing something brand new that he supposedly is not qualified for. Or when Madonna or Paul Simon or U2 come out with a new album, their existing fans usually hate it because they've adopted a completely new style that they've learned somewhere else.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll just miss completely. So you have to be willing to be a fool and kind of have that beginner's mind and go back to the beginning to start over. And if you're not doing that, you're just getting older.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's willing to be a fool. It's just, to me, that the most exciting thing is to try to get better at something, to learn at things. I mean, it's really exciting when you just have incremental progress in something that you're completely new to.
Yeah, I live for the aha moment, that moment when you connect two things together that you hadn't connected together before, and it fits nicely and solidly, and it kind of helps form a steel framework of understanding in your mind that you can then hang other ideas off of. That's what I live for. It's that curiosity fulfilled. And it's what little children do too. My little son is always asking why? And I always try and answer him. And half the times I realize, actually, I don't really understand why. I just have a memorized answer for you, but that's not really understanding.
Yeah, those are weird conversations, right? When you're talking to your kids and you say, look, the reality is I don't know a lot of things.
Yeah, I've just memorized a lot of things. Yeah.
And there's certain things that you just can't know.
Yeah, you realize that you have answers for a few things that you've thought through. Then you sort of have cover-ups, like trapdoors, like don't go here. This is just a cover-up. I don't really know the answer to what the meaning of life is or how we got here.
Yes.
And then you've got a whole bunch of memorized stuff because a lot of intelligence these days is just the external brain pack of civilization. I know it's out there. I know the answers are out there. I know how to look them up, and I've memorized some of them. And I kind of understand how money works and the Federal Reserve prints it and what this government thing is, but not really.
Right.
So
not good enough to teach it in university.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think people do that with almost everything in life these days, in terms of have a one page, a one sheet, like a brief summary of what the explanation for what this very complex subject might be.
TLDR, right? Don't give me the lecture, give me the book. Don't give me the book, give me the blog post. Don't give me the blog post, give me the tweet. Don't give me the tweet. I already know.
Yeah, I got really fascinated by the way you read, because I thought there was something wrong with me by doing that. But you don't really just read a book to completion. You read and then you pick something else up, and you just kind of go based on your whims, whatever you're interested in.
Well, I was raised by a single mom in New York, and she used the local library as a daycare center because it was a very tough neighborhood. And so she would basically say, when you get back from school, go straight to the library and don't come out until I pick you up late at night. So I used to basically live in the library, and I read everything. I read every magazine, I read every pictograph, I read every book, I read every map. I just ran out of stuff to read. I just read everything. So I got over this idea of that reading a large number of books or reading a book to completion as a vanity metric. Because really, when people are putting up photos on Twitter, Instagram of look at my pile of books that I'm reading, it's a show-off thing. It's a signaling thing.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
And the reality is I would rather read the best 100 books over and over again until I absorb them rather than read all the books.
Right.
Yeah, because your brain has finite information, in finite space. You get enough advice, it all cancels to zero. There's a lot of nonsense in books out there too. So I don't read anymore to complete books. I read to satisfy my genuine intellectual curiosity. So this podcast actually ended up explaining this tweet storm. So there's a tweet storm with like 36, 38 tweets, got very famous, got translated into dozens of languages. And these were principles that I came up with for myself when I was really young, around 13, 14. And I've been carrying them in my head for 30 years. And I've been sort of living them. And over time, I just realized, like, sadly or fortunately, the thing that I got really good at was looking at businesses and figuring out the point of maximum leverage to actually create wealth and capture some of that. And do it in a very long-term kind of way, not the banker crash the economy, get bailed out kind of way, but build businesses and help people and provide value kind of way, especially when applied to modern technology and leverage in this age of infinite leverage that we live in. So the podcast is just explaining each tweet. So these are little 3, 4, 5 minute snippets. I don't like to say the same thing twice. I don't like to explain in detail. I feel like if you have something original and interesting to say, you should say it. Otherwise, it's probably been said better. So that podcast tries to be information dense. It tries to be very concise. It tries to be high impact. It tries to be timeless. And it has all the information. I think you need the principles that if you absorb these and you work hard over 10 years, you'll get what you want. So I've got the one on wealth creation. I'm going to attempt to do one on happiness is a big word, but happiness and inner peace and calm and all that. Because what you want is, you don't want to be the guy who succeeds in life while being high-strung, high-stress, and unhappy and leaving a trail of emotional wreckage with you and your loved ones.
Which is more common than not.
Yeah, because you got to focus, and it's very hard to be great at everything. You want to be the guy or the gal who gets there calmly, quietly, without struggle. You want to be the person when there's a crisis going on, you want to be the calmest, coolest cucumber in the room who still also figures out the correct answer.
If you can be. One of the things that you were saying is that you feel like happiness is something that you can learn, and then you can teach yourself to be happy, even just by adopting the mindset that you are a happy person and proclaiming that to your friends. And so you've sort of developed a social contract. I'm a happy person. And then, I have to live up to that.
Yeah, I've got hundreds of techniques. But
how did you develop that one?
There's social consistency, right? Humans have a need to be highly consistent with their past pronouncements. So the way I started my first tech company was I was working inside a larger organization, and I told everybody that I was going to go start a company. I was like, I hate this place. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to be a successful entrepreneur. 6 months pass, 9 months pass. Then people start getting, you're still here? I thought you were going to go start a company. Were you lying? Right? That was the implication. So we kind of know this, right? Social contracts are very powerful. Like if you want to give up drinking, right, and you're not serious about it, you'll say, I'm going to cut back. I'm going to have only one drink a night. I'm going to only drink on weekends. You tell yourself. So I think a lot of these are choices that we make, and happiness is just one of those choices. And this is unpopular to say because there are people who are actually depressed, chemically or what have you, and there are people who don't believe that it's possible because then it creates a responsibility on them. It says, oh, now you're saying if I'm not happy, that's my fault. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that just like fitness can be a choice, health can be a choice, nutrition can be a choice, working hard and making money can be a choice, happiness is also a choice. If you're so smart, how come you aren't happy? How come you haven't figured that out? That's my challenge to all the people who think they're so smart and so capable. If you're so smart and capable, why can't you change this?
There are a bunch of people, though, that actually take pleasure in being miserable. There's something about the pursuit of excellence and of success that supersedes all other pursuits. That in their eyes, it is the peak, the pinnacle, the most important thing.
It's not a trade-off. I would argue that now when I say happy is one of those words that means a zillion different things.
Right.
It's like love, right? What does that mean?
Right, I love cheese.
I'm going to define it a little bit more tightly, right? So let's go back to desire, right? This is old Buddhist wisdom. I'm not saying anything original, but desire to me is a contract that you make with yourself to be unhappy until you get what you want. Okay, and I keep that in front of mind. So when I'm unhappy about something, I look for what is the underlying desire that I have that's not being fulfilled. It's okay to have desires. You're a biological creature. You're put on this earth. You have to do something. You have to have desires. You have a mission. But don't have too many. Don't pick them up unconsciously. Don't pick them up randomly. Don't have thousands of them. My coffee's too cold. Doesn't taste quite right. I'm not sitting perfectly. Oh, I wish it were warmer. Oh, my dog, pooped in the lawn. I didn't like that. Whatever it is. Pick your one overwhelming desire, and it's okay to suffer over that one. But on all the others, you want to let them go so you can be calm and peaceful and relaxed. And then you'll perform a better job. Most people, when you're unhappy, like a depressed person, it's not that they have a very clear, calm mind. They're too busy in their mind. Their sense of self is too strong. They're sitting indoors all the time. Their mind's working. They're thinking too much. First of all, the first thing if you're going to make money is that you're not going to get rich renting out your time. Even lawyers and doctors who are charging $300, $400, $500 an hour, they're not getting rich because their lifestyle is slowly ramping up along with their income, and they're not saving enough. They just don't have that ability to retire. So the first thing you have to do is you have to own a piece of a business. You need to have equity, either as an owner, an investor, shareholder, or a brand that you're building that accrues to you to gain your financial freedom. And everybody was trained as a scientist or an engineer. Everybody. Even if you weren't very good, you had enough understanding of computers, you could write some code, you could build some hardware. And don't tell me people can't do it, because they can. That's just the tyranny of soft expectations. That's just you looking down on somebody else. They can do it. They just have to be educated. Now, if they're educated all as hardware, software engineers, scientists, biologists, technicians, hard sciences, not the social sciences, we would all be done within 5 years. Robots would be doing everything from cleaning toilets to cooking food to flying airplanes to driving Ubers. And what would we be doing? We would be doing all creative jobs to entertain each other and researching science and technology. We would have wonderful lives. So it is really just a question of education, nothing else.
Is this a scale issue, though? I mean, you're talking about it as if this would work with 300 million people.
It'll work with 10 billion people. It'll work with a spacefaring race with 100 trillion people.
We have the resources. We have the ability.
The universe is infinite resources. You build have you heard of a Dyson sphere? You build a Dyson sphere on a star and you gather all its energy like that. There's so much energy out there. One asteroid's got all the minerals that we need. One sun, one solar system has got all the power we will need for a long, long time. We can extract it out of nuclear fusion. We're not that far from those kinds of technologies working. It's just a question of guts and interest. Like, we should be building nuclear fusion test plants on the moon. The moon should be littered with them. It's no downside.
Right. Yeah. If you could, how would that work?
Well,
send a bunch of people up there to work?
Well, the problem, robots. The problem with fission, nuclear fission, is that nature creates energy through nuclear energy, right? Like the sun creates energy, nuclear energy. Now, for transmission, we use photons because photons don't interact. And so photons are great for information transmission, but they're actually not great for energy transmission. For energy creation, you want nuclear to work. And the problem is, because nuclear energy, we built it with a bomb, we have dirty nukes, all those kinds of problems. We have Fukushima, 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl. We don't innovate anymore on nukes. Imagine if when the first steam engine blew up, we said, oh, art.
Art?
This is art.
Oh, okay.
Art is just creativity. It's just anything that's done for its own sake. So what are the things that are done for their own sake? There's nothing beyond loving somebody, creating something, playing, art. To me, creating businesses is play. I create businesses early stage because it's fun, because I'm into the product. Even when I invest, it's because I like the people, I like hanging out with them, I learn from them, and I think the product is really cool. So these days, I will pass on all kinds of great investments because I'm like, the product's not interesting, it's boring. I'm not going to learn anything.
That's a beautiful luxury.
It is a luxury. Art and learning, yeah. It is a luxury. These are not 100% or zero things. Right? You can, in your life, start moving more and more towards that.
Right, but it's a goal.
It's a goal. When I was younger, I used to be so desperate to make money that I would have done anything. Right? If you'd shown up and said, hey, I got a sewage trucking business, and you're going to go into that, I would have said, great, let's do it. I'm going to make money. Thank God no one gave me that opportunity. I'm glad that it went down the road of technology and science, which I genuinely enjoy. And so I got to combine my vocation and my avocation. I mean, what do you do? You're playing. You're having fun. You're doing art. You're not working.
No. That's what I always say when people say I work hard. I'm like, sorta. Yeah. Not really.
I'm always working, but it looks like work to them, but it feels like play to me. And that's how I know no one can compete with me on it. Because I'm just playing 16 hours a day. And if they want to compete with me and they're going to work, they're going to lose because they're not going to do it 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.